Yo, this is Steve Bloom, and you're watching Moana Nui Podcast. We'll be starting soon. Don't go anywhere.
I'm Veronica Taylor, and from myself and Ash Ketchum, I just want to say, Moana Nui, I choose you!
Aloha, everyone, and thank you for joining the Moana Nui Podcast. We're very excited for you to be part of this episode at our 8:30 p.m. Eastern episode. If you've seen our marketing, this is a new segment we're bringing to the podcast. But for those who are joining us for the first time, I'm Dana, the other half of the Moana Nui Podcast. Moana, unfortunately, is dealing with the DMV traffic, trying to come from work. But for those that may or may not know me, I am a cosplay event and con staff photographer for cons like Dragon Con, MomoCon, Anime Week in Atlanta, and you've even seen my photos with DC Comics. I'm also an event planner and a voice actor. But as we get ready for the episode, a couple announcements. There's a couple Kickstarters we want you to keep in mind as y'all, for those that are new to the show. Moana is also a children's book author, and her third children's book for the series of Nokoa and Nohea is currently out on Kickstarter. So you can go and support that children's book. And that link that you can go to check that out and support and make that happen. I am going to put that in the chat. So definitely go take a look. If you have any children that are part of your life or you want to donate some books to a local school, definitely um, go ahead and pledge for that Kickstarter. And of course, another Kickstarter to keep in mind, a friend of the Moana Nui podcast, Malachi Bailey, is getting his first issue of Her as a comic. If you follow Malachi, his Her has been two graphic novels, and now it is being turned into a comic with Wingless Comics. So definitely go and support his Kickstarter, which is also in the chat feature also. So go and click that link and go in and support that Kickstarter. And so as we get ready to kick off for tonight, as you have probably seen, and of course, something that we want to get started is we know we have sports fans in the audience, and just because we are geeks don't mean we don't like sports. So the Moana New Podcast wanted to bring a new segment that we have fellow geeks as part of the community coming to talk about sports. So the segment is Geek Speak on Sports. So we have some Black geeks and nerds, sports fans talking about things that is in sports news, about some of the games, and anything about sports. So definitely engage in the comments. And as we're talking about our different topics, and let me go ahead and introduce to you two of our panelists. Our third panelist is running late, but I'll definitely introduce him at the beginning, and he'll join us shortly. Our first panelist is James Herndon. He is a gamer, a Black nerd, and a sports enthusiast. Welcome to the show, James.
Good afternoon or good evening. Thanks for having me. Glad to be here.
Thank you. Our other panelist unfortunately had a conflict and will not be here, but we look forward to having her on the show. Candaysee, she is the founder of Candiconnects. She's also a socialite, a Black nerd and cigar enthusiast. So definitely look forward to y'all getting to know her when she joins us on the next episode next month. Our next panelist is Joy Stevens. She is a culture coach, a gamer, a recovering engineer, and a boss. Let's welcome Joy to the show.
Hello, Dana. Hello, James. Excited to be here. This segment of the show is brought to you by Ray and Nephew. If you don't know about it, you need to know.
And I hope all of y'all, because if any of y'all are sports fans, you should have your beer, your drink, and whatever little things that you want to partake while you are watching this segment. And our last panelist, of course, will be joining us later, Furious Jenkins. He is an engineer, a scientist, gamer, Black nerd, and sci-fi lover. You also have seen him on our Marvel DC panel that we have every month. So he will be joining us a little bit later to talk about sports. And with that, I am going to definitely hand it over to our enthusiast. I'm going to stay on until Furious gets here and let him go ahead and kick it up. I know Joy has sent to us about a lovely little article that she wanted us to talk about tonight. So, Joy, I'm going to have you go ahead and let the audience know about this particular article that you wanted to talk about tonight.
Sure. So, every time the draft comes around, whether it's for basketball, football, even baseball, people get interested in who are the new recruits? What can they do? How are they going to perform? Are they worth the hype? And very often we really focus on, their experience, their charisma, their look. Sometimes think about Cam Newton. We'd be like, what church outfit is Cam Newton going to wear today? But recently I came across an article that said, and he wasn't even a first round draft pick, but while they were worried about two other guys who I don't even remember who they were. Oh, thank you. Victor Wembanyama and Scoot Henderson. The only name anybody cared about when they were talking about the draft was Steve Hoyufat. Yes, that is his name.
Yes.
His name is spelled Steevee.
Mm-hmm.
HOYOUFAT. His name is Steve Hoyufat. And I don't care what sport he plays. I don't care what he looks like. I don't care what he's done in his life. I just want him to stay in the news so that people will be forced to say, and I understand that empirically this sounds like fat shaming. And you can say this is not something we want to promote in the world because it's body shaming, et cetera, et cetera. But his name is Hoyufat. And I mean, you can in your mind, that's you putting the FAT in there. You can in your mind say PHAT and be like, oh, you fat. So it just depends on how you want to say it. But I can't wait for some Wisconsin, and I pick on Wisconsinite announcer to say, here we have playing Steve. Is this right? Is this? Steve, I'm so sorry, everyone. Steve Hoyufat, and try to say it real quick. Steve Hoyufat.
Or try to.
Hoyufat.
Oh no, there's no getting around that.
Yeah, they can say Hoyufat. Steve Hoyufat. No, it's Steve Hoyufat.
And yeah, that's his name because I had to look him up as well. He is French Guiana.
Yeah.
Where the family business is located. The family business is shipping, by the way. His paternal grandfather was an immigrant from China. So that's where the name came from.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I had to do a double take on the article myself. I just pulled up the Wikipedia page to be sure. I don't think it's going to be in any drafts anytime soon because he is 34 playing in the French league.
Don't ruin my dreams.
I'm not trying to crush your dreams, but I'm just saying he's 34. So
as long as he stays in the global news, that's all Joy cares about.
If this French team wins that league championship, you're going to hear a lot of Steve Hoyufat.
Mm-hmm. I want him to just donate to a charity or something and be like, we got $1 million from Hoyufat. Yes.
Thank you, Mr. Hoyufat.
Right?
Oh my gosh. But it's always good when it's like, oh yeah, we're here to look at these two prospects, Victor Wembanyama and Scoot Henderson, because next year's NBA draft. Wait, is that guy? Someone give me the program. Is that name for real? And stuff like that happens more often than not, where it's like scouts of various NBA teams will be in various Euro leagues, scouting top prospects, guys who they expect to be lottery picks or at least first round potential. That's how they found out about Giannis several years back.
Yep.
And they scout these games looking at the foreign talent, and it's always some other person who catches the eye, whether by name or skill set. So
I just want the jersey.
Of course
you want a whole you fat jersey.
Yes,
of course you do. Not even surprised by that.
Right. But you know
they do those custom jerseys, so we just need to know what their colors are and everything. So Joy can get one.
You're not going to get that from any NBA league store. That's not going to happen.
I mean, I can just have one
stores. You can get them custom made.
Jersey. It might cost me a little more, but it'll be worth it. But you know what? So during the daytime in my real life, my real job, I am a diversity, equity, inclusion consultant for corporate America. And so I'm always talking about the benefits of fully embracing diverse cultures, backgrounds, people, speech, etc. This is what you get. Look at how much fun we're having right now. This is the beauty of fully immersive and fully mixed up, integrated, that's the word, fully integrated society, is that you have a young French Guyanan man whose parents or great grandparents or whatever stem from Far East Asia, and you get Steve Hoyufat, which we get to play with all night if we want to. But aside from that, I mean, everybody knows that the more you find different sources of inspiration, different sources of education, experience, etc., just the better you are. So this is just a funny example of why diversity is important. And yes, I can turn anything into a diversity teaching moment. That is my gift.
Well, good luck trying to get that jersey from an NBA shop store. I know
we got some people in the audience that listen from Europe, so hit us up if you can get a jersey so we can send it to Joy, and Joy could be rocking it whenever
you get an extra large.
Stateside. I mean, look, the NFL shop store has already banned all Ron Mexico jerseys a while back. So
why?
You know why they banned the Ron Mexico jerseys.
Boo. That's racist.
Okay, since you brought it up, you got to tell the audience in case they don't know.
I'm going to wait to tell the Ron Mexico story until Furious gets here, because it involves the former quarterback of his team.
Ooh.
Don't wait. Furious might not show up.
That's true.
So I don't want to tell the story without him present, because I want to see his head hung in shame when I tell it.
You can tell it again. He won't know.
The short version is that Michael Vick, during his heyday before the scandals, when
he murdered some dogs.
Yeah, or he supervised the murdering of dogs.
No, he drowned them dogs.
Yeah.
During one off season, he went on a trip, had some fun without protection, and came back with an STD. And went to a clinic to get checked out and get the necessary antibiotics or whatever. And instead of using his actual name, he used the name Ron Mexico. And word got out.
When he got it.
Word got out. And it was one of those stories that ESPN at the time tried not to pay attention to, but all the like lower outlets like TMZ broke the story and everything. So naturally, there was some over enthusiastic Falcon fans who went out and got Mexico jerseys with the number 7 on it. And the NFL was like, no more of this.
Boo.
Yeah, because NFL stands for No Fun League.
Yes.
Right. Ever since they got rid of dancing in the end zone because of the damn Dallas Cowboys, football has just been not as fun.
Well, there's dancing in the end zone now. They do choreographed dances.
It's not the same.
Actually, whole choreographed routines.
It's not the same.
The Gritty not doing it for you right now?
No.
Okay.
No. I need some.
Oh,
Need some icky shuffle.
You need that. What was his name? McDingleberry from.
Take it all the way back. I need some Billy White Shoes Johnson, son.
Oh my gosh!
I said it. I'm old. I don't care. I'm grown.
No one does that dance anymore.
Ray and nephew.
They probably don't even know what that is.
Do your homework.
Look, they're not that dance. The icky shuffle. I mean, basic spikes are still a thing. They're not going to go anywhere.
Yo, let me hit you with an oldie. We are the Bears, shuffling crew, shuffling on down, doing it for you. We're so bad, we know we're good, blowing your mind like you knew we would. We ain't just strutting our fun, strutting our stuff for everyone. Yeah, I did it.
Apology to Bears fans,
you
but
love
for
it.
that to happen again, the Bears actually have to be good. and look, I know it's kind of foul of me to say this, but if there's a team in a franchise that can milk a Super Bowl win 40 years later, they are the ones.
Yeah, let them have that.
I am going to let them have that because
Bears won $375 in a local pool for that game. I got a JVC boombox off of that game. That was a great game.
Oh man, not for Patriots fans.
What?
Dana, that game wasn't good for Patriot fans.
Dana, are we able to use profanity on the show?
Oh yes, it's after dark.
Man, fuck the Patriots. Okay. Fuck them.
I agree. I don't like the Patriots. I don't like Belichick. I despise Tom Brady, even though he's with the Buccaneers. Still despise him.
You just turned from a Patriot to a Pirate.
Same thing.
Still
thing.
Still the same thing. Speaking of the NFL, Brett Favre.
Yo.
Like,
where do we even begin with this?
Let me do the Denzel.
Disgusting things I've read in my life. Like, how do you?
One of the girls I know called him a well-Favre queen.
Yeah, that's appropriate.
Uh-huh.
And it's crazy now that he's trying to backtrack and say he did nothing wrong when the text messages clearly show that.
So I'm gonna get away with this, right?
Right. That's the actual conversation between him and the former governor. Are you sure this is not going to blow back in our face in any way, shape, or form? Like there's no penalty for this. This is legal. All right. And then to double it up with, well, can't we use workers from the local prison to build this new facility at this college where his daughter plays whatever sport she plays?
Volleyball.
Whatever.
Brett Favre is a rat think.
And
for those of you who may not have been paying attention to the story, just so you understand, Brett Favre took millions of dollars from Mississippi welfare recipients. Now, Mississippi is the poorest, if not one of the poorest.
No, it's the poorest.
The poorest state in the country. And he took millions of dollars from the poorest people in the poorest state in the country to build a stadium at the college where his daughter plays football. Mind you, he has millions of dollars. And that's why it's so reprehensible. The stealing in and of itself deserves jail time, but to steal when you already have is the epitome of greed, you know, and lack of empathy, lack of caring for the other people around you. And then knowing you're doing this, knowing that it's fucked up, and then putting yourself out there as some sort of local football hero, knowing you're doing some dirty shit the whole time. There's a special level of hell for you.
Yeah, it hasn't been built yet, but it's definitely waiting for him.
Right. It's level 21. Wait, what's his number? What was Favre's number?
4.
Okay, it's number 400.
Ward number 4. And like, I can't even say I'm surprised by this because of how his behavior, I'm not going to even say it changed, but his behavior was reprehensible when he was playing. If anybody remembers when he was towards the end of his career, when he played with the Jets for one season, he was sending dick pics to a woman who worked in the front office of the organization and didn't get penalized. I'm sorry. If you call a $10,000 fine a penalty, then sure, he got punished for it.
Right. It's like giving me a $5 fine. I find that
slap
shit
on the
couch. Right.
It was just this.
Right. It was pocket change. He got that out of his petty cash drawer.
And I think all told, from what I've seen in multiple reports about the Mississippi scandal that he's embroiled in right now, he made over $100 million in his playing career.
Mm-hmm.
Over $100 million. You can't tell me he didn't, one, invest some of it, is reaping the benefits of those investments. And you tell me you couldn't parlay that into building a stadium for your daughter's sports team. Right.
If you really want to be magnanimous, pull that money out your own pocket.
Yes.
Suck it, Favre. Okay.
JD says, well, we're well-lit dick pics.
I don't want to know what kind of dick pics they were.
I doubt it. I doubt he had the technological savvy to do a front-lit ring like dick pic. He's probably in the bathroom at his job. You know what I'm saying?
And somebody holding a flashlight.
Oh, no, trying to like use the flashlight. Look like this. He's probably like trying to use the flashlight on the phone, but then recognizing that the light goes that way. So tried to like angle the light with his hand and like snap a pic like that. I promise you that's what he did.
Oh, I
know that's what he did.
JD said, James, we need to know what sort
no. Trust me, Brett Favre is a monster. We know what type of monster. Like anybody who didn't know Brett Favre was a monster, and I don't mean that in like the good sense of dominating the sports world. No, we knew Brett Favre was a horrible human being while he was playing.
Yeah, he's not a beast.
A secret.
He's a monster. Mm-hmm.
Right. This was not a secret. I mean, I think the only time I actually had sympathy for him was the game he played on Monday night after his father died. That was pretty much it. He was look, most of these top athletes who are revealed in such a way, especially when it comes to football and quarterback at that, are like deified almost.
Mm-hmm. And that's a problem.
And unfortunately, they're assholes to the core. So, I mean, whether it's him, Aikman, Brady, like, it doesn't matter. They're assholes. I mean, you can like them as athletes, but they're in day-to-day lives. To some level, they're walking pieces of shit.
This is why I think people need to be held accountable for their actions at all times. If he had been checked when he was sending dick pics, if he had been checked when he was saying, questionable things about his teammates or the cheerleaders or whatever, maybe we don't get him stealing millions. It takes a level of boldness. You got to build up to that type of bullshit. You don't just start off with, I'm going to steal millions from a state. You start off with, I'm going to try some little slick out the mouth stuff. And if that's okay, then maybe I'm going to touch somebody. And if that's okay, then maybe I'm going to send a dick pic. And if nobody says anything about that, maybe I'm going to do some bullshit on the field. And then the next thing you know, I'm stealing millions of dollars.
Yep. But some other athletes can get blacklisted for protesting because of Black Lives Matter.
Right.
Only thing Kaepernick ever took was a knee.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
His own knee at that.
Yeah.
But he can't get a job.
And even after he's been blacklisted, he's volunteering and helping in the community and donating money.
His own money.
His own money. Nike even supplemented whatever he was going to make from the final years of the 49ers contract that he voided to become a free agent by giving him an extension on that deal that he already had with him. And basically paid him what he would have made in the NFL for like over a two or 3 year period. So
let's not sleep. Nike made that money back, but it was,
of course, Nike made that money back.
Yeah. You got to know who buys your product. Remember when everybody, all the mad conservatives were out here burning their New Balance shoes because they didn't understand that Nike did not have an N on the side.
You talk about out of touch idiots,
right?
Don't understand anything.
They're the same ones getting mad at Black Panther not having enough white people in it.
Right. What if we did a White Panther? I mean, do it. I don't care.
You already have the equivalent of that.
Right. It's called Captain America. Who stole some shit from Wakanda.
Well, he ain't necessarily steal that.
He was okay. So that is the most American thing that you can do. Is have somebody come before you, steal some shit, give it to you as a gift, and then not give it back because you don't want to acknowledge it was stolen in the first place. That's America to a T.
Well, speaking of another reprehensible former NFL player, Antonio Brown, former wide receiver. And and I don't know if you all saw this story, but he was in a jacuzzi. I don't know what was said to him at the time, but he basically dropped trowel and started, how do I want to say this? Jerking off in front of an audience.
Mm-hmm. I think they call it fapping.
Yeah, that's what the kids call it
Fapping.
these days.
Yeah.
Look, and again, I've never been an Antonio Brown fan. I thought that dude has been touched since day one. He needs help.
Mm-hmm.
And he's got, let's put it this way, whatever, if there was anybody around him telling him to get help, I'm pretty sure they're gone now because he kicked him to the curb.
True.
JD wants to know what the issue is.
JD, you cannot expose yourself
Minors.
to anyone in a public area, especially a swimming pool.
But what's it public though?
It was at a hotel. I mean,
Wow.
I guess the hotel is private property, but I mean, there are people in the pool with you.
But I mean, they asked you to do it.
It was
I'm just
more,
kidding,
it was
like
probably
Jason.
more akin to them
Unless you
trash
don't
talking
do
to him, and that was his response.
I promise you, if it had been a woman who pleasured herself, you would have never heard about that shit.
Of course not, that because that's Tuesday.
I commend Antonio Brown for fighting patriarchy and being comfortable with his own sexual expression.
Exactly. Amen.
That is not what happened. That is not at all what happened.
I feel like that's what happened though.
That's the spin. Let's put it this way: you would have been a good spin person for his PR team at that point.
Look, I put Olivia Pope to shame. I can make anything sound not only good but admirable.
Oh my gosh! Just
I'm having
I
a
got
ball
nothing
in
right now. I got nothing. Needless to say, Antonio Brown has pretty much burned his last bridge. What, last season when he ran off the field in the middle of a game and said he wasn't coming back. So he's done his apology tour, but just enough to try to convince people, well, he'll be on our list in case of emergency, break glass, but that's not going to happen. It's just not. Switching sports to basketball, because I couldn't believe this actually got out. We normally hear about fights and stuff happening in camps and practice and things like that. NBA is in preseason right now. I think the regular season starts in another week or so. But the Golden State Warriors, Draymond Green, Cole Cock, Jordan Poole.
Wait, what? I didn't hear the story. What happened?
Draymond Green punched Jordan Poole. Pretty much, if you saw the video, he about knocked him out like Debo did old boy in Friday.
Hang on.
I've got two issues with this. One, whoever works for the Warriors who leaked the video is never getting a job in the NBA ever again. Because it's one thing to hear about stuff like that happening. We all hear about it. We heard about it during Jordan's heyday. We heard about Kobe yelling at his teammates when he was on top. LeBron's not that dude. He doesn't yell at people.
Nah.
Not really. But for this video to actually get out there, somebody on the Warriors squad, management team, videographer, film crew, whatever, this person is losing their job. They might as well leave the country and go somewhere else for employment, because that's like cardinal sin number one in all of sports. You don't leak the video of in-house drama. You just don't do that. Like, we can talk about it and we can speculate and we can come up with our own stories. Joy could write a whole novel about it and make it seem like the most epic thing since Middle Earth. But I mean, leaking the video. Now, why Draymond? Well, if you watch the video, Draymond walks over to Jordan Poole. We don't know what said between them, but Jordan Poole then extends both hands and pushes Draymond back. As I saw one post said that once you push somebody with two hands, they should go up to start blocking because a punch is coming. Jordan put his hands down at his side. And as Mark Jackson likes to say, Hands down, man down. And that's
That's what you
exactly
fucked
what
up.
happened. Because Draymond fully extended right to his jaw, and Jordan Poole dropped like a bag of
Why
bricks.
did he think he wasn't gonna hit him?
I don't know.
That part.
I guess he thought the push and they was teammates and that was going to fly.
Well, one of the things that, or some of the things that I've been seeing, because there was somebody who posted a compilation of videos from other NBA players, and all of them said no one expects your teammate to walk up on you like that and swing.
I mean,
He didn't
once
walk up
Will
and
Smith
swing.
slapped the shit out of Chris Rock, everything was on the table.
Okay, that's fair.
It's a new world.
I mean, the boldness of some folk, the audacity, if you will. But yeah, if you push someone as they're walking up on you, you just pretty much gave them more. Like, if I'm walking up on you out of anger to check you, the thought of punch you was already in my head. It's probably like 10 to 20%. But if you double hand push me in my chest, that 10 to 20% chance just got elevated to about 90. So you pushing somebody and not expecting them to retaliate in a similar or elevated response is a bit crazy. I don't care if it is your teammate. Jordan knocked out Kerr.
What is it? Circular coitus provides enlightenment. Fuck around and find out.
Yeah, pretty much.
Wait. Say that again.
Circular coitus provides enlightenment.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm. He's about to use that.
Yeah,
of course he is.
On shirt.
Of course he is. Look, Jordan hit Steve Kerr. Jordan hit Steve Kerr. He was threatened by Bill Cartwright. I'm pretty sure he punched other players in practice. I mean, if you watch the documentary of the Bulls from last summer, you know Jordan was an asshole in practice. In practice with the Bulls got very physical. There were fights. They talked about it. Did you see video? No. But you know they happened. And see, this could have been one of those things.
And see, the thing I wonder about this video was, and again, I've only seen it a couple times, so I'm not sure. Was it actual practice footage that they were recording, or did somebody pull out their phone? That part, I'm not sure, because if it's actual practice footage that they're recording, they'll narrow that down real quick as to who leaked it. True. But if it's cell phone footage, that's gonna take a bit of doing to find out. Who did it, yeah. Because TMZ is not gonna reveal their source.
No, they're not.
I think it's cell phone footage.
It's got to be.
Because I mean, they do have a pretty tight family. Like you said, we've never seen anything like this before.
Right.
I do think that the video itself looked opportunistic. Like it wasn't, because if you watch in practice, you're surveying the whole group and you might get a pan and then to come back. This was, the minute it started, it was already there, which tells me, at least to me, it seems like somebody saw some stuff popping off and was like, yo, world star. I feel like that's
exactly.
Or this isn't the first time the two of them have had beef in practice.
That part.
And the person recording was like, oh, let me pay attention to them for a minute.
That's possible too. Furious Jenkins, everybody, welcome to the show.
Yes, welcome to the show, sir. Welcome to the show.
Yeah, sorry I'm late, guys. There was
He's a walking stereotype for CP time.
Wow.
Where's the lie?
That's all of that's a lie. I am
wow. Is it?
What other podcasts on this network have I been late for?
That's true. You've been on time with the other show panels.
All I know is this is my first interaction
right now, though. Why you bring the whole stuff?
And 100% of the times that we have been on the show together, you have been late. 100%. Not
not fast. Just curious.
Oh my God! You the internet today.
Why you mad though?
Awesome.
No, that was not awesome.
I feel like it was awesome.
No, that was not awesome.
Well, since you're here now, we would like to get your thoughts on the whole Ron Mexico incident that happened several years ago.
Which aspect of the incident are we talking about?
Why they taking jerseys away?
Are we talking about what we know happened or the piece we suspect happened?
Yeah, let's go with both because you're a Falcons fan. You know the story better than I do.
So, as anyone who knows me knows, I was never a fan of Michael Vick as quarterback for my team.
Are you sure about that?
I've said time and time again, dude is an amazing athlete, but he was not a good quarterback. So I like I said, I embraced him because he was the team's quarterback, but I never wanted him in that position because you know I'm all about the team, the name on the front of the jersey, not.
Well, the name on the back was Mexico.
The name on the front of the jersey, not the name of the back on the back of the jersey. So yes, so I embraced him because he was the team's quarterback. I was never a fan of his. Like I said, amazing athlete, was not a good quarterback. And then, you know, towards the end of his career, he even admitted he didn't watch footage. He couldn't properly read a defense. I'm just kind of like, the amount of talent that he had, just raw speed, is what got him into the NFL. He was an amazing, to me, I've always said he probably would have done better as, you know, return man or maybe a gadget play the same way that the Saints do with Taysom Hill. To me, that would have been a much better role for Vic, at least until he started learning how to read defense and watching footage, which he did by the time he got to the Eagles. By then, you know, somebody had pulled him to the side and was like, look, we try to give you a second chance, but you're going to have to actually learn the position of quarterback. And, you know, he was a decent quarterback when he was in Philly, but he wasn't when he was in Atlanta. As far as the whole Ron Mexico thing, I'm not going to talk about that because I don't.
No. You got to talk about it.
I don't want lawyers being called and sent to my home.
Really?
Nope. Well, I guess if we make sure we can say that it was alleged that he
allegedly.
did.
Go ahead.
Yeah. So allegedly, what was the STD that they allegedly said he had?
The clap.
No, it wasn't. It was worse than the clap, but not as. I think it was gonorrhea. I think that's what they said he had, and he went down to get his medication and went down as Ron Mexico, which to me was funny. So number one, I'm not sure where that name came from.
But didn't he go to Mexico?
I don't remember if that level of detail actually came out or not. But to me, the really funny part was when people started ordering Ron Mexico Falcons jerseys.
Yeah, so we started the show off saying I wanted a Steve Ho You Fat jersey. Yes. Like this sounds like the Ron Mexico debacle.
And I already told our viewers that are in Europe if they could get one for Joy and message me so we can get that to her.
I need an American extra large or a European XXX.
Yeah, that was so funny because I forget how many. I don't know how many actually got printed and people bought, but people actually did get some bought before the NFL finally put Ron Mexico on their list of restricted names that nobody can get printed on a jersey. I mean, that was hilarious.
All you got to do is get you a basic jersey and some letters from Michaels. You can make a Mexico jersey. You can't stop me.
Or you know somebody that knows how to embroider and they can go ahead and embroider them letters for you.
Now the thing that I wonder is if you go to eBay and look for a Ron Mexico Falcons jersey, I wonder what are they selling for?
Let's find out, shall we?
Let's matter of fact, hold on. As my mom would say, I got the whole internet right here in front of me.
Got the whole internet right here.
eBay.
Yeah, you know somebody got it on eBay.
I got a Ron Mexico bath towel going for $59.
Stop.
Ron Mexico bath towels?
Yes.
Oh my gosh. Why?
Why not?
I know, but still, why? At the same time, why?
All right. So
let's see what else I can find.
Oh my gosh. There's my eBay app.
Am I searching wrong? Because I'm actually not. Let's just Google it.
And everybody that's watching, if you find the link to anyone that has it available, please share it in the chat, in the comment section. We will be happy to receive that information.
All I see is the bath towel for $59. I don't see.
So on a quick Google search, I have found a quick Google image search. I found just a bunch of people's pictures of their jerseys, but I can't actually find anything. I'm not finding anything on eBay. I'll say it that way. But yeah, that whole Ron Mexico jersey thing was just wow. That was great.
I want to say the league, or at least one of the sports outlets, had reported that somewhere between 10 to 15,000 jerseys actually got out before they shut it down.
Wow, that's nice.
So
it's enough to make a limited edition going for $1,000 a piece,
if not more.
So
I love and hate us at the same time.
Yeah.
Oh man, and look, we joke about it and everything, but like going back to Brett Favre, they never mentioned. Yes, fuck Brett Favre, but they never mention any of his ill deeds. Nope. And it's funny how when athletes look like us, it's like, yeah, he was a great player and he did this effed up shit.
Right.
No, usually you hear he was a great player, but he did this effed up shit, which negates his entire career. So again, pulling out my DE&I hat, this is what we call a halo and horns effect when it comes to unconscious bias. The minute a particular person that looks the way they want them to look does something good, they can never do wrong again. Anytime they mess up, it was an accident. It was blame it on the weather, blame it on the partially inflated ball, whatever it was. It was just a problem that somebody else caused. It wasn't their fault. But when they do something great, even if it was an accident, if they stumble into the end zone, they are the best player. It was genius. He did it on purpose. It was masterful control of his feet to stumble in that direction. Mind you, you have someone that doesn't look like they want them to look, that can win three playoff games in a row, 3 Super Bowls in a row, whatever. And the question is, I wonder if they can keep it up. I wonder if they're really that good. I wonder if this is just a fluke. Well, they're lucky they have such a good offensive line protecting them. They're lucky they've got such a great coach telling them what to do, because they couldn't possibly have come up with that audible on their own. They're lucky for all these reasons. And the minute they do something wrong, they could accidentally bump into an old man in the airport. And oh my God, did you see what they did? He's such an animal. I knew it. They waited on you to do something wrong because they wanted you to do something wrong in the first place, because they didn't want you there in the first place.
Yeah.
I mean, because if you think about it, the last time you heard something negative about Brett Favre was his rookie year.
No, it's not. New York Jets, the dick pics.
Oh, yeah, okay. Yeah.
Well, see, look at Furious. Even in Furious's mind, those dick pics, well, I mean, that's probably part of, they probably weren't that great, because we're still talking about Chris Evans' dick pics.
You need a moment, Joy?
I'm just saying, maybe Favre wasn't memorable.
I don't know. But now, because
in Favre.
I mean, and Joy, you mentioned that because what he did was a crime.
Right. Chris Evans got leaked by accident. He never intended for that to be out. It was on his phone. Somebody was swiping. Who was like, whoa. This dude sent an unsolicited dick pic, which is the letter of the law of sexual harassment.
Yes.
So wait. So that's
dick pic to a woman.
So that's actually a crime now. Oh,
actually,
okay.
Yes. So anybody, women, especially our cosplay ladies who get that, you can go ahead and submit that. I got a couple of y'all I need to submit stuff for, because
I had a guy. He was a friend of a friend of a friend. We ended up commenting on the same post on Facebook. This is back when Facebook first started, like 2009, something like that. And he told me I was cute, and I said, thank you. Now, if you tell a girl she's cute and she says thank you, she don't want you. She doesn't. Just give her the compliment and walk away. He kept talking to me, and I kept saying, I'm really not interested. And I said, I'm really not interested. Y'all know me. I don't mince words. And so I told him, I have no interest in pursuing anything romantic with you. And his response was, that's because you ain't seen what I'm packing. I don't care. You would if you saw it. I don't want to see it. I'm going to send you a pic. Please don't. Please don't send me this. I don't want to see it. And then he
Mhm.
sent it anyway.
Right.
And then I blocked him. And then he sent a message to his friend who asked my friend why I didn't want to talk to him no more. That is bordering on stalking or cyber stalking before we knew what that was. But this was just random. It's not like he ever saw anything.
He was tapping
sexual
into that
of me.
audacity really hard.
Girl, audacity by the pound is Sam's. So I wasn't wearing anything more provocative than what I have on now. I got on like a dress and a jacket, and he never saw me in person. We never spoke live. He just saw my picture, thought I was cute, and said, "You know what she needs? My schlong in her DMs. That'll make her love me." I don't understand that mentality. And plus, even if you had a big monster, anaconda rope that you swing around and put over your shoulder, like what's his name? That's St. Jacques. I still don't want a picture of it.
The only thing I can come up with, I have a coworker, and when she said this, it made perfect sense to me. She said most guys lead with what they're good at. And maybe that's the only thing he's good at.
But I don't want to find out though.
Either somebody lied to him.
That's a whole nother show. I could do a whole nother show about how women are their own worst enemies. Stop lying to these boys out there, because when they come across me and my circle of friends and we tell them the truth, then they mad at us because ain't nobody ever told them they suck before. That's on you, women. Stop lying. He's not gonna marry you anyway. You ain't got to lie. And if you do lie and you get married, you stuck with mediocre dick for the rest of your life. Because you told this boy he was the best you ever had, and you knew you was lying when you said it. That is your fault. Good luck with that.
And he wondering why you using toys afterwards.
Right. And then get mad when you use the toys. Don't take my toys. If you take my toys, I'm gonna put you out. We're gonna fight.
So I brought up Brett Favre again.
Don't be trying to get us back on track. We gave up on sports. All that sex is a sport. It's a different sport.
It's a different sport. Mm-hmm.
It is a different sport.
It's a competitive sport.
It's not a competitive sport.
Yes,
it's a team sport. It's a team sport.
It's a team sport too.
It's a competitive sport.
It's a competitive sport, and it can be a team sport too.
It depends on just like singles and doubles tennis.
Oh God, no.
It can be a team sport and a competitive sport at the same time.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
I don't like y'all making sense like this right now.
Like my homeboy said that he said, "You better come when I come, or come when I come back." That's the funniest thing I heard in a minute. I was like, "You did not tell her that." He's like, "I did tell her that." I said, but she still went out with him. Again, women, you do it to yourself.
So again, I brought up Brett Favre again to parallel that his celebrity and how it's glosses over his misdeeds in the past.
Yeah.
With what happened Monday night after the Chiefs-Raiders game, where Davante Adams, Raiders wide receiver, was walking off the field, and one of the sound guys was literally in the wrong place at the wrong time. And he ran across Davante Adams, who really was just focused on getting the hell off the field and to the locker room. Didn't see him till he flashed in front of him, was like, whoa, and pushed him. Dude fell.
Mm-hmm.
Went to the hospital with non-life-threatening injuries, whatever those were.
Yeah.
And is now filed charges against Davante Adams.
For assault.
Criminal charges, yes, for assault.
Yeah. Horns. He put horns on Davante.
Yeah.
Anybody could see that was an honest mistake, right? You caught him off guard, considering that he is a celebrity. People run up on you all the time. And look at how people have been shot, stabbed, killed, poisoned, whatever. You could have been trying to kidnap him. He didn't know what you were trying to do. You were all of a sudden in front of him for no reason. And he defended himself because he thought he had to. And because of that, he is now facing criminal charges. This should drop this whole fucking case.
Yeah, but considering the charges were filed in Kansas City, where the game was played, and they are the arch rivals of the Raiders, these charges ain't going away.
He going to jail? He's
not going to jail. He's going to get like a fine of some type, but he's not going to get any jail time. But
Kansas or Kansas City, Arkansas?
Kansas
City, Kansas, yeah. Or is in Kansas City, Missouri, because the city's right there on the border of Missouri.
Yeah, is it Missouri or Kansas?
It's in both states, actually. It's right there on the state line.
I know that. Which side was he in?
I can't remember.
I thought the
It really
stadium
don't matter because he's going to jail.
Yeah.
I don't think he's going to
He's going to get 9. He's going to get a
not
house
going to
arrest.
jail. He's not going to get jail time.
House arrest. House ankle.
House arrest. When after the season's done with that in-home Taco Bell he got.
Yes. Why not? But I mean, it's one of those things. When we talk about systemic racism,
wait, hold on. So
him for this. Yeah?
Just a quick note. The official address of the stadium is Kansas City, Missouri.
Missouri. Okay.
Oh, he going to jail.
Oh, God.
Missouri, like Ferguson, Missouri. Yes, he going to jail.
Yeah, like
Ferguson, they don't like none of us out there. But
well, he's back in Vegas practicing now. So
the issue is once you slap a criminal conviction on somebody, they're now in the system, and y'all know how systemic prison pipelines work. The whole 3 strikes and you out, the whole you're a career criminal, all that kind of stuff is going to make it that much harder, even at his level of success, that much harder if he's convicted of anything. They really need to throw this case out. First of all, if it had been Brett Favre who punched him in the face, they'd have been like, he startled Brett and hurt Brett's fingers. That would be the story, right? But because it's Devontae, he is predisposed to be seen as a criminal and violent, just based on the history of this country. So they're going to label him as such, and it's really unfair. This shouldn't even have been charges brought. Paparazzi gets knocked the fuck out all the time, right? Sean Penn didn't go to jail, and he chased that dude and punched him.
Now here's a question that I have. Was it that the cameraman filed charges, or did the police decide to file charges? I don't know the answer to that question because I wasn't there. But my thing is, if it were me and I was that cameraman and he pushed me like that, I'm not going to the cops.
I'm settling out of court for $100,000.
Exactly.
Just enough to put my kids through college, and I'm out.
Right. You're going to pay me.
You're going to pay me, and I'm going to get an autographed ball and jersey.
Right.
Be like, look at this bruise on my cheek.
2 autographed jerseys. I need 1 to keep and 1 to sell.
Yeah. See how the center of this jersey says $100,000? That's your price for this.
But to me, this is one of those things where, yes, what he did was wrong. Absolutely. He shouldn't have did it. There's no question about that.
Yeah, now I'm on Devontae's side.
However, they, in my opinion, are going way overboard.
Oh, of course.
I'm not even going to say it was wrong. Again, it was a knee-jerk reaction, a defensive mechanism.
See, I'm in the minority camp that does not think that's what happened.
Oh, you think he pushed him on purpose?
When he came off that field, he was heated. He was mad. He avoided all the typical post-game routine.
Absolutely, because he headed
straight for the locker room.
Right.
Now, that's why I say what he did was wrong, because when I watched the footage, like the way James kind of did his whoa, I didn't see that happen.
You just saw the push.
What I saw was him walking, cameraman in front, arms out.
Oh no, the cameraman like literally flashed in front of him because he wasn't looking in any peripheral. He was tunnel vision.
Yeah,
I'm getting the hell off this field to the locker room, and it wasn't so much as a jump back. Whoa, it was reactionary. You know, much like you do with Dragon Con when that thing jumped at you.
Hey! Why are we bringing up old stuff?
Right.
I mean, because it's relevant.
What thing?
So why are we bringing up old stuff?
What scares you, Furious, at Dragon Con?
You know what? Nothing scared me at Dragon Con. James
like your minds want to know.
Startled you?
Me and Joy like.
So I was near the Netherworld booth at Dragon Con, and they had what I thought at the time was just a prop statue of, I don't even remember what the creature was. All I know is I'm standing there, I'm not really paying attention, and happened. And my fight or flight kicked in, and I punched him.
Okay.
It was a
you should have run and fall, you know.
And I didn't wait around to find out. I was just like, oh shit, I got to get out of here. And I bounced. I didn't wait. And James has always contended that was a prop and not a person.
It was.
And again, I can't dispute that fact because I didn't stay around to find out. I was like, nope, I got to get away from this situation.
Mm-hmm.
Considering the setup is the same every year, it's a prop.
James, your answer it just reeks of white people horror movie. Like, you didn't wait to find out if it was real or not. We don't do that. Nope. We don't do that.
Nope.
Furious behave correctly in that the minute you are frightened by something, you punch that thing and you run the other direction.
Yep. Because if we acted how we're supposed to do in horror movies, that would have been how it was in every horror movie. They had a
That's
black
why there were
person
no black horror movies for so long, because it would have been like, we like, what did Eddie Murphy say? This is a beautiful house. Get out. Too bad we can't stay. We got
exactly
credits.
Yep.
Right.
Yep. But
backing
no,
it up.
But yeah, I say that just to say again, his state of mind. He was not granted, I assume he wasn't the typical day-to-day Davante Adams. He was pissed. He was pissed because they were losing. Scared Furious, a working
clock.
Wow, really? We are really dialing in on this.
Yes.
JD Smith.
Would you say earlier you did this to yourself?
JD Smith, the guitarist. Okay, Mr. Or Mrs. I don't know. That may be a Mrs.
JD, digital artist. Mm-hmm.
Okay. All right. All right.
You did this to yourself, man.
That's all right.
But yeah, I look, somebody flashes in front of me, I come off a loss like that, I'm pushing whatever's not my teammate out the way.
That's all I got.
Oh, wow.
Man. But yeah, so no, that's why I say I think I'm in the minority of, like I said, just he was pissed, he was angry, dude got in front of him, he just pushed him and kept it moving. But no, again, like I said, I would not be filing charges over something like the only way I would file any charges is if when I fail, I suffered a serious injury.
And he didn't.
I would be like Joy say, $100,000, maybe a couple $100,000. We settle out of court.
Mm-hmm.
We keep it moving.
Yep.
Just give me like, because I don't know how much money he makes, but if I'm sure for Davante Adams, $200,000 is what, maybe a game and a half
of a game.
Yeah.
Maybe a quarter of a game.
Is his contract that major?
I think he's making close to $20 million this year.
Boy, you better give me $100,000 and shut the hell up.
Devontae, if I remember correctly, Devontae is the highest paid wide receiver this season.
What? Oh, we ain't gonna just walk past the padding and he just pull out his chair like that. What the hell is going on over there, bro?
My gosh.
Do you have some?
I am sitting in someone else's chair, and there were cushions in the chair, and I just got yelled at and was told to move the cushions.
Get your ass off the cushion.
Yeah, pretty much.
Okay. They did look like personalized cushions, which is why I was like furious. What is happening over there? It looks like surgery recovery to me. You finally get that stick out. I mean, what happened? So
wow.
Hey, I've had a lot of alcohol today.
I know. I saw the message. I know.
I told him this message is brought to you by, this was Ray and Nephew, but it's empty now. And also, people, if you're looking for a really good cocktail to make for your next, a playoff party, Super Bowl party, whatever, let me tell you what you get. It's real cheap. First off, get either Everclear or Ray and Nephew. Everclear, y'all know what that is. Ray and Nephew is an overproof rum from the islands. Mm-hmm. It is delicious and it is very mild in that you can't really taste a lot, but it replaces Bacardi 151, which they stopped making in your states, right? Mm-hmm. But you can get Ray and Nephew at most liquor stores. So go to the store, get you some Mio, right? The little squeezy flavor.
Yep.
Squeeze Mio to it's the color that you want, usually like a dark red. You saw the dark red cocktail I had here. Add in however much rum or Everclear you want and fill it with water and add some ice. Boom. Now you have a nice cocktail. People go, oh, this is delicious. What is it? Tell them it's a secret. Don't tell them that it's Mio and liquor and water. But it's a very cheap and it's a quick way. You can go in the kitchen, close the door, whip up a second batch. They won't know what. Just skeet. Liquor, water, boom, done. Delicious.
Skeet, skeet.
Yes. And if there's a version of Mio that's called like Mio Energy. It's got caffeine. You use the Mio Energy, and now you ain't got people trying to sleep at your house. They can go home.
Yep.
I am wired.
That's Red Bull in
now.
a squeeze.
Yes, that's exactly what that is. We are dropping knowledge on y'all. Y'all need to really appreciate the things you're learning today. I'm saying. I've already given y'all about $800 worth of free diversity and inclusion discussions.
No.
Right, tonight.
Add a zero, 8,000.
8,000. Depending on how many people is listening, $200 a head. I'm saying. I hope none of my real clients ever see this post.
By the way, Devontae Adams is making $12 million this season.
Okay, a season? Yeah. How many games in a season?
17 now.
Okay, so like 800,000 a game.
Something like that.
Give me one game check and we're good.
Thank you.
Give me one quarter. We good.
Oh my gosh.
No, I'm gonna need at least a half.
Yeah, give me half a game. Half a game. You ain't even miss that, bro. You ain't even miss that, and we good. It's not like you're paying a mortgage. Anybody making over $1 million a year that's paying a mortgage is doing life wrong. Some more free advice.
You could just say, give me a half of a check and I'll make sure the Gatorade container is full.
All the time.
The whole game.
Ray and Nephew and Gatorade. That's another good thing that mixes. Gatorade and Everclear is delicious.
Mm-hmm.
And you get your electrolytes, so if you're out in the sun, you don't pass out.
True.
If you come into Spelman and Morehouse homecoming next weekend,
you're hitting them with that military knowledge. We used to do that all the time in the Army.
Yeah.
Why is my time off?
No, I don't know if I want to see NFL players out there on this cocktail because that would be. I don't.
Well, they shouldn't be drunk at the games anyway.
You know who I want to see drink this?
It makes me. It's reminding me of LT in his prime.
You know who I want to see drink
cocaine.
This? And he's my little ghetto chew toy. Is Marshawn Lynch. I love Marshawn Lynch. He is my favorite. I just want to give him a hug. He is adorable to me. And I don't know. I have a real thing for Marshawn Lynch. And all of his rough around the edges. I know he's not perfect. He's not even right. But I think he's so cute. And not like in a, he's sexy kind of way, but just in a, look at you. You're so ridiculous. Like, he's my favorite.
Honestly, there's a part of me that wonders if Marshawn Lynch is as rough around the edges as his presentation is.
He is. He's 100% authentic. Matter of fact, people gave him all the hell when he got famous for. I'm just here so I don't get fined, and I don't want to do interviews. Part of the reason he didn't want to do interviews is because he knew what he sounded like, and he didn't want to give anyone the chance to belittle him or make fun of him or give white people something to talk about his diction, about the way he spoke, because he's very smart, but he wasn't very eloquent. Yeah. And he knew that. He's like, I'm not about to sit here and let y'all talk dirty about me. But as he got more famous, his lack of, verbal media training was okay because he was a brand at that point. Skittles to the rescue. I got to give mad props for Skittles for leaning into that and be like, we're going to make him a motherfucking sponsor. That was the best move ever. And then I love what he does for his community. I love that he gives back. I love he's got a store in Oakland. I went to the store. He wasn't there. I was mad. But yeah, I got a real thing for Marshawn Lynch. Like, it is not even sexual. I just want
to, if you're watching, hit us up. I'll make sure.
I want a hug. I want a bear hug from Marshawn Lynch. That is a goal. That's a bucket list item.
Okay, all right. Mm-hmm. So since you brought up the Skittles, I love how that year they didn't win the Super Bowl because they called a pass play instead of a run play. And then in the Skittles commercial, they pretty much dialed into it. And he's just like, see, just hand it to me. I was like, all right, yep, it's official.
Yep. Yeah, that was a gangster move.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That's why it's like there are some of these companies that either the ad agent, whoever it is making some of these commercials, they get it.
Mm-hmm.
They get it. And whoever did that Skittles and Marshawn Lynch commercial, yep, they knew exactly what they were doing.
Mm-hmm.
Just like the people that does the Twitter for Wendy's.
Wendy's Twitter is a mood. Like, I love it.
Savage AF.
Savage. And the thing is, it is a unique thing. Other people try it. They try to, be slick on Twitter. No, just let Wendy's do what they do.
The only other one, at least that I'm aware of, that I think could rival the Wendy's Twitter for being slick is the state of New Jersey's Twitter account. Because the state of New Jersey's Twitter account within the last year or so, and I know this is only a slight dip into politics. I know we're trying to stay with sports, but since we're talking about Twitter, the state of New Jersey's Twitter account is quick-witted and sarcastic, and it's intelligent snark, and it's beautiful.
Like Webster's Dictionary Twitter account will come for you.
Yes, they do.
Yeah. So if you ever want another one to follow that's kind of got the same kind of snark, just go look for the state of New Jersey's Twitter account.
Okay, cool. That's cool.
The only other sports thing I saw was actually something that broke today, and it has to deal with the Washington Commanders as a whole. I
not just the owner, not just the
situation, but it's like, in case you don't watch football, here's the TLDR on the Washington Commanders. Aside from 2 name changes, they were embroiled in not 1, not 2, but 3 different sexual scandals involving their cheerleaders. The first one involved them and 4 other teams. The last 2, they did all of their own because the other teams clean house and fix stuff. They apparently was like
still pimping out their cheerleaders.
Nah, get on this plane for this photo shoot in Libya
and get
VIPs. All right, get off the plane. Give us your passport. You can't get back on the plane until you go in the hotel room with him. Yeah, they was doing
That's called human trafficking.
Yeah.
Let's be clear about what they did.
Yeah, they did that on 3 separate occasions. Not to mention, if y'all remember John Gruden, when he got fired from the Raiders for his racist, homophobic tirade emails that came out.
Yeah.
His younger brother was coaching the Washington football team when he wrote some of those emails. Those emails were sent to the then general manager of that Washington football team. Also, the front office embroiled in racism, homophobia, sexism, anti-Semitism, and this went on for years that Snyder has owned the team. This wasn't like, it just happened once every night. No, this was a culture, which is why they had to clean house multiple times and hire diverse people in these roles to kind of clean things up. Well, now a report by ESPN today has multiple people who either still work for Washington, have worked for Washington, or are close with someone who works with Washington, saying that Daniel Snyder has dirt on Roger Goodell and several owners of the NFL, which is why they're not pushing for him to sell the team.
If you think that Roger Goodell ain't got some of them goodies at some point in his career, you got another thing coming. Yeah, they got dirt on him because he's dirty.
Here's the thing I always have to remind some folks about the NFL is that Roger Goodell works for the owners, so he's never going to do anything to punish them. Yes, the players can be pissed off all the time, and rightly so, that they get disciplined for transgressions in and out of the game, but the owners don't. If the legal system punishes them, then that's good enough for me, and nothing else is going to happen to them. We'll dock them a 6th-round draft pick, which no one cares about because those dudes rarely make the team anyway. But in the case of Daniel Snyder, from all the reporting, the only way the team can get Snyder out of the picture is to force him to give control to his wife and literally ban him from all activities whatsoever dealing with the Washington football team.
Should just be a puppet.
And that's exactly what people already are saying, because when they played Dallas 2 weeks ago, he was on the field at the stadium. He shouldn't have been there because he's not supposed to have day-to-day operational contact with the team whatsoever. That includes going to football games and fraternizing with the other owners.
It was like a Cat Williams moment. Do you know we can see you?
And no one cared because Jerry was there chatting it up with him, took a photo op with him. Washington Commanders Twitter page posted it somewhere talking about friends and enemies for life or something like that.
Boo.
Whatever they put up. But yeah, there's also another thought that because they force the Carolina owner, Richardson, I think it was like 3-4 years ago, they forced him to sell the team, that they're a little bit skittish on forcing another owner to sell the team. And it's like, okay. But this
There's a
trash.
lot going on with that. So
Mm-hmm.
first off, let me take it all the way back. I'm talking pre-European Renaissance, coming out of the Dark Ages. Understand that for generations, as humans first formed civilizations, might makes right was a real thing. The strongest, most powerful person, not only were they in charge, they got the choice of women, not through any coercion or whatever, but like just the basic human instinct to want to breed children with the strongest of the clan, wherever they might have been. But when we started introducing money as a vehicle to power, and it was no longer just physical strength, but intelligence and cunning, you started seeing more people with cunning being able to gain money and using that money to entice women to want to breed with them, because intellectual intelligence became a source of power over brute strength. That has gone on from we'll just call it from the Dark Ages to the Renaissance on through where we are today. Now, the reason I'm talking about this is all the different institutions, the industry in the United States and the UK, the Industrial Revolution, the tech revolution, the dot-com boom, all that kind of stuff. All of that is flexing of intellectual prowess in order to, at some point, get the girl. And people come into these positions of power. You don't own a football team just because you really, really love the sport. You own a football team because it'll get you laid. And a lot of this stuff is around, it'll get you laid. You become a CEO of a company because before sexual harassment laws are put in place, it will get you laid. And a lot of this has been a cause and effect / cause round robin, chicken and egg type of thing. But a lot of these people that deal with specifically the cheerleaders, because remember, we didn't always have cheerleaders in the NFL. That is relative to the age of the NFL. That is kind of still a new thing. Right. But they became women that could be exploited because they had no protection. They don't even get paid that well. But
they're not team employees either.
It was a harem.
Contractors.
It was a harem created for the people in power in the NFL. So the idea that, anybody with any sort of ownership, management, or any level of power in the NFL is not partaking of the captive audience is naive. Right. And they still do it. And some of them only want to be in that group so they can do it. Boy, what?
Terra Luna.
You got
currency in a game. I'm pretty sure it's a currency in a game.
I mean,
I don't know what game that is.
How much Terra Luna you gonna give me though? That's just because you got it. You sharing? Because you ain't sharing, then I ain't sharing. You know what I'm saying? In the words of what was that old song by Black Geek? No money, no honey, no cash, no ass. Yes, understand that. But appreciate the levity, because I do kind of modeling in my discussions. But at the end of the day, that's why that's why there's so many male owners. There's only male owners. The idea of having a female owner was anathema to them for a long time because they didn't want no chicks coming in and messing up their good thing. Right. And if they did have a female owner or even a female general manager, look at the sexual harassment that those women had to endure just to hold a job, just to hold a position, because they didn't want them to come in and mess up the good thing, either become one of the trafficked or get put out, or we're going to make it so uncomfortable for you that you leave. There's so much to unpack there. It's the same thing they used to do with the steno pool or the secretarial pool in corporate America. This is a harem of their making. It's why sexual harassment laws exist, because they wouldn't allow women to work outside the home without trying to send them, before there were dick pics, there were etchings. Look that up, and before that it was, reach in my pocket and get something. I dropped a pencil, bend over and get it. All of it without trying to get laid, so there's so much to unpack there. And I've had too much Ray and Nephew to do it justice at 9:46 at night. But just know I'm ready to have that conversation if anybody want to talk about it.
Okay.
And this is why I wish Candaysee was here, because I wish Candaysee was here because she's a Bills fan, and the Bills, I think, are the only team with a woman as the principal majority owner of a franchise in the NFL.
I bet you the culture in that block room is a whole different vibe.
Yeah.
So,
Mhm.
I'm not sure how many GMs are women, if any are. I know there are more women in front office positions as far
Right.
as executives,
We're just starting to get head coaches. Yeah.
player personnel. There are I think 3 or 4 women position coaches in the league. The Bucks have one. Surprisingly, Washington has one. I forgot where the other 1 or 2 are. There are 2 women referees in the NFL. But look, I have a love-hate relationship with this sport, especially on a professional level. I mean, at least in the NBA, I think like a third of their referees are women.
The NBA has always been less of a plantation than the NFL. We've talked about that before, you and I.
Yeah. So, I mean, the NFL is always I mean, I thought baseball was last to do some stuff. Nah, it's the NFL.
Yeah.
It's the NFL. I mean, especially when you look at social change over the last couple of years. When NASCAR did something before the NFL, I was like, I'm in the twilight zone.
Right? NASCAR is where the rebel flag goes to die.
NASCAR has banned the rebel flag.
Which really surprised me when they did that.
Yeah.
Are you
You know what?
kidding
That's
me?
a great example of don't judge a book by its cover. Just because they are associated with an element of their audience being, we'll call them, rebels or whatever, didn't mean that they wanted to have that as their brand. And I appreciate the stance that they took. So hats off to the NASCAR franchises.
Yeah, no, years ago, I had a coworker who part of our development group, and her area was NASCAR. And working with her on a few projects at work, that's when I discovered just how much money is involved in NASCAR. Like, I mean, I knew those cars were expensive just because of the high level of performance. But even back in the early 2000s,
to get them late.
yeah, she was even in the early 2000s. She was telling me those are multi-million-dollar cars.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
And
Because
again,
engineers design those cars down to the millimeter as far as aerodynamics and speed. So yeah, they hire engineers to work on those things.
like I said, I didn't know much about NASCAR, so I had no clue. But we were working on some stuff, and I got to see some stuff that not everybody gets to see. And I saw those. I was like, oh.
And I tell you, I've been to a NASCAR race, and when I walked in, I was like, this is about to be some bullshit. But about maybe 30, 40 laps in, I was riveted, because it's about the performance of the vehicle. It's about the daring and control of the driver. And it's about the pit crew. The pit crew is everything.
Yes.
How fast can you get in and out, and being that well-oiled machine, being that it's a choreographed symphony that they do.
Yes.
And milliseconds can be the difference between winning millions of dollars and going home alone. I mean, it's interesting to watch once you realize what you're really looking at.
True indeed.
Truly.
But yeah, they did that, and I'm just like, meanwhile, the NFL over here just
we
NFL.
fine. You've been fine all these years.
But the NFL can get away with it because they know the majority of their audience is going to go along with whatever decisions they make.
Has anybody ever paid attention to the parallels between the NFL draft and the slave auction blocks?
Yes.
Okay. See, I won't talk about it then. We've been
very well aware of it for decades now.
Yeah, I'll be quiet. See, I can be quiet.
Of course, I got any last words. We can make it around 90 minutes, and we got 9 minutes left.
Unless I got something else you want to bring up. That's all I got.
So 2024 Olympics. Is it too early to talk about that?
What about him?
I was Googling because I wanted to see if pole dancing actually made it into the Olympics, and it didn't. I was sad because I really wanted pole dancing to be a sport, but skateboarding and breakdancing did.
Yeah. Yeah. The skateboarding, I think skateboarding's been there for several Olympics now because of the X Games.
Oh, yeah.
A lot of those X Games sports automatically got shuttled in because of their global popularity.
Good point.
breakdancing.
They
Yeah,
have.
breakdancing
I didn't
was
realize there's
like last-
global competitions
I
for
bet you
breakdancing.
I bet you $100 Korea takes it in the breakdancing.
Of course, it's always either like Korea or Japan that takes the breakdancing competitions, which I always find fascinating. But if you go on YouTube and watch those videos of them breakdancing,
decent it out. I got mad respect for them because that is not cultural appropriation. People are like, oh, it's appropriation because no, they've studied, they practice, they hone their craft, and they are damn good at it.
It's years and years of doing it.
Yes.
JD,
mad respect.
No,
you're
not going to see the likes of Triple H.
In the
you're not going to see the likes of Triple H, John Cena, Roman Reigns, and all of them. You're not going to see that in the Olympics. That's not an Olympic sport. That's theater and entertainment.
Yes. You look for them in Hollywood, which is where most of them end up.
Yeah.
And actually, John Cena as the Patriot is some of my favorite shit. That was my favorite cosplay that I saw this year at Dragon Con was John Cena people being John Cena being an idiot. They did when we did Dragon Con here in Atlanta, they did a session where they taught the choreography for the opening sequence to what's the name of the show?
It's not called Peacemaker.
Peacemaker. Yeah, I said Patriot. Yeah, they did the opening scene to Peacemaker and that raggedy, terrible dance, and I learned the whole thing.
Awesome. It's interesting you bring that up because I wonder, has he himself gone to any of the conventions as Peacemaker?
Yes.
Because he has?
Yes, he's been to a convention. I want to say he did either San Diego this year or something else.
Okay.
As Peacemaker. He went in full costume. He showed up to the premiere of the movie in full costume.
Well, no, but I love how we've got celebrities from superhero movies that are showing up at the conventions in their costumes.
And most people do their double take like
like what? Wow,
it really looks like John Cena.
Yeah. And
Lupita Nyong'o dressed up in a really makeshift Pink Ranger costume and ran around New York Comic Con one year.
Exactly. We had T-Pain at Dragon Con 2019 was walking around. He was cosplaying as one of the characters from Tekken.
Wait, who was?
Leroy.
T-Pain.
He was dressed as Leroy.
T-Pain
was Leroy from Tekken.
That went viral because
And here's the mess up part. Someone has posted a photo of him walking through the lobby of one of the hotels. I had just left that lobby when I saw the photo.
Oh, wow.
They were like, this just happened 5 minutes ago. T-Pain walking around as Leroy.
Yeah, he walked right into the Hilton. He heard the music playing and he started dancing. They got video of him dancing in the Hilton lobby to the music the DJ was playing.
I missed him by 5 minutes. If I just stayed put for 5 minutes, I would have seen him.
That'll learn you.
I know, right?
That sounds like something T-Pain would do.
Yeah,
it's glorious.
But they had numerous NFL players that were also cosplaying there. That as staff, they send us a list of like what celebrities are there as attendees and not as guests. And there was like good 30 NFL players from different teams that were all there. And I'm like, they're not even playing in Atlanta, so they actually traveled in. Okay,
yeah.
You know what? I can't wait for us to talk about DC. We talking about DC versus Marvel next week, right?
Yep. So everybody.
I'm gonna die on the hill that says Peacemaker is the best thing to come out of DC since the Dark Knight dies or whatever.
Until you see Black Adam.
Yeah.
Well, Black Adam isn't out yet, but when it comes out,
next week
is on my list.
We're gonna go see that.
Yeah, but I feel like they're finally, and I know we're not gonna get into it now, but I feel like DC is finally learning. Oh, we should maybe put Marvel already won.
It did.
Marvel's
had my heart for a minute. Ever since the 90s cartoon. Yeah.
Speaking
and I was rogue at Dragon Con this year.
Yes, you were. You killed that as your first cosplay.
That was an amazing cosplay, Joy.
Yes.
That definitely was. Yeah,
yes.
Absolutely.
And now she got 2 other costumers that she could work with to get her costumes for next year altogether.
Nope.
But speaking of that, James, do we have a release date yet for X-Men 92? Is it 92 or 97? X-Men 97?
It's going to be X-Men 97 because that's the year the cartoon ended.
Yeah. Do we have a release?
I want to say sometime next year, but I'm not 100% sure.
Gotcha. Okay.
It's still being dangled out there, but let's put it this way. We're going to get those X-Men first before we get live action X-Men because contracts.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Although I'm looking forward to this Deadpool Wolverine mashup. That's going to be great.
That's going to be really interesting to see with the two of them.
That's
because they stupid. They stupider together.
And the way they did, the way they made the announcement to me.
Yes, I love it.
Wow. Mm-hmm. Hey, Hugh, you want to be Wolverine one more time?
Yeah, sure.
Yep. And then he had to do the sit down video on the couch with him. Did you see that one?
Yeah. That was nice.
All that noise and them just talking about the movie and just going through motions. Crazy.
Yes, definitely. So, of course, everybody definitely tune in 7:00 next week. Our panel is going to be talking about Miss Marvel. This season has ended. We're going to dive in and talk about the season of Miss Marvel.
Miss Marvel or She-Hulk?
No,
She-Hulk. Sorry, my bad. I got that mixed up.
I thought I was going to do them both. I was like, Miss Marvel and She-Hulk? But yeah, She-Hulk is going to be amazing.
She-Hulk. And then at 8:30, we're going to have our series with Sue Ann on talent development. They are going to be talking about the topic of race and gender intersectionality.
Why I'm not on that list?
You if you want to attend, you can be doing back-to-back panels.
I'll just refresh my glass and be right back.
Okay. I'll let Sue Ann we got someone else that want to join the panel. So yeah, they're gonna be talking about race and gender intersectionality. So I'll send you the information on that.
I do that for a living.
I have a feeling Joy's gonna keep doing these podcasts, and soon she's gonna be so big and so famous we won't be able to get her anymore.
Okay.
Pretty much.
I remember when she just started doing these podcasts with us.
Right? Remember when she would just show up with her little Ray and nephew and just talk shit for 90 minutes.
Now you got to go.
She won't call us back.
Now you got to go through her agent and her publicist and all her people.
Yes.
Yeah. Please believe if I got famous, I would act a whole ass. I really would.
I believe it.
Like y'all would still have my personal cell number, but I would tell you, okay, so I'm gonna do it, but go through the proper channels, and then like 2 weeks later, you get back to me again when you get through all my people. That'll be funny.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. I would want a scandal to break and have like somebody be like, yeah, I'm her ex-boyfriend and she did this, and I'd be like, yep, he was trash. I mean, like, yeah, don't try it. Don't try it. It ain't gonna go the way you want. Nope. I actually had a dream like that once that I was on what's the dude with the chin? Jay Leno.
Oh gosh.
I was on Jay Leno and I was running for public office, and somebody tried to bring up some thing I did at Freaknik in college, and I was like, yeah, I did it. He was whack, and then he didn't say nothing else.
Yeah, most of those, they want the people to be in denial. I did not.
That wasn't me. That. I would never. I'd be like, I remember that. Yeah, it was boring.
Mm-hmm.
I'm surprised he told you because he passed out. Whatever.
Right.
I got nothing.
I was watching. While you was still going, I was watching Dragon Ball Z.
Right. Yo, Goku became a Super Saiyan before he could make me come. I'm just saying. You know how many episodes that was? Don't leave.
On that note.
So once again, Neo and Ray and nephew and water.
Hello, police. I'd like to report a murder.
Do your homework.
Yeah, Joy just killed somebody.
Y'all go to bed.
Joy just killed somebody. Yeah, it was brutal. The weapon she used? Words. It was words.
Yes.
Whoever she talking about, that dude dead.
He has not been seen again ever
He
since.
was never seen again. No.
Oh, but everyone, thank you again. Definitely tune in. This segment will be on the second Thursday of the month at 8:30 p.m. So mark your calendars. We look forward to the conversation. We'll have our other panelists, Candaysee, part with us next month, and hopefully we get a couple more new additional sports people to join this panel, so it gets more interesting as it goes along. But everyone, thank you for tuning in. If you're watching this on the replay, definitely comment, and I'll definitely share the comments with the team here. And if you missed it, definitely you can watch it on the recording on YouTube, Facebook, and Twitter. Twitch only keeps recordings up there for 2 weeks, so you can go to any one of those platforms and watch this again. If you're watching it and was like, I still don't believe what I heard, go ahead and rewatch it and just take it in again.
I said it.
With your Uncle Nearest in your cup.
Yes.
So everyone, have a great evening. Thank you for tuning in, and we'll see you next week. Bye, everyone.
See you guys.
So many stories left to tell, even if we have to ourselves. Can't keep history on the shelf. If we won't tell it, we will.
If this the land of the free, it was a freedom then. When they annexed Hawaii and called it Cedar Lands, without any type of payment and no signing off. Called themselves the Republic in 1894. 1.2 million acres overtaken from the native Hawaiians. When they resisted, the West retaliated in violence and erasure. The Hawaiian language is banned as part of colonialism's plan to expand, yeah.
Stuck between a rock and a hard place. Multiple bombings of Kaho'olawe Bay. As a part of their ongoing war with Asia, used it as a place for target practice. No consent or compensation. Colonizers call for annexation. No regard for all the locals. School will never let you know. So many stories left to tell, even if we have to ourselves. Can't keep history on the shelf. If we won't tell it, we will. Too many stories left to tell, even if we have to ourselves. Can't keep history on the shelf. If we won't tell it, we will. We will.
So if we put Hawaii into perspective, well, Black and Asian history is interconnected. Considering the fight with the Pacific, then of course, versus Asia, they was treated as a middleman for war, but didn't let the Western colorism run its course, cause dark skin was a sign of dignity to core. The land was taken in the name of capitalism, when prior to it was an actual kingdom. Clap back at the system.
Stuck between a rock and a hard place. Multiple bombings of Kaho'olawe Bay. As a part of their ongoing war with Asia, used it as a place for target practice. No consent or compensation. Colonizers call for annexation. No regard for all the locals. School will never let you know. So many stories left to tell, even if we have to ourselves. Can't keep history on the shelf. If we won't tell it, we will. Too many stories left to tell, even if we have to ourselves. Can't keep history on the shelf. If we won't tell it, we will. So many stories left to tell, even if we have to ourselves. Can't keep history on the shelf. If we won't tell it, we will. Too many stories left to tell, even if we have to ourselves. Can't keep history on the shelf. If we won't tell it, we will. We will.